Here we go. Thank you for letting me be myself
Oh no.
again. Right, Curtis?
I don't know what you're saying.
All
You
right,
don't
good. I was
remember
going to say
that?
I don't want to
You
start this.
don't remember that?
Nope.
Wow. Someone hasn't recently watched the live action Scooby Doo movie.
Nope.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Morachip Studios production. That is right, episode 2 of NJC, live 10 months after the premiere episode of NJC. At this rate, we're averaging one a year.
Nice.
All right.
I wasn't going to do that math, so thank you.
You're welcome. Well, technically, we're averaging one about every 10 months, but by the time we get around to a third one, I figure our average will lengthen out.
Valid. Very valid.
So I've watched bits and pieces of some of these Halo Infinite videos.
Okay, all right. This is a good start.
Yes. My initial gut reaction, is that it looks like pretty much everything else I've ever seen in the Halo universe. What do you guys think?
Well, I would say that that's the reaction they're going for. Because they were like, yeah, all right, we'll make it look like Halo. Here you go, guys. That was a big thing coming off of Halo 5 was, oh my god, this game doesn't look like Halo anymore. Please fix it. So they did.
Yep.
So that's where we are now.
I'm pretty sure that's how they started the video as well. I'm going to, obviously you probably know a majority of those names way more than I do, but that's how they started we want to take all the greatness from the previous Halos and get something that everyone can reminisce on and yet still feel fresh, and then have new players come into play. Just seeing some of that gameplay, I could definitely see it. And I don't know, again, talking Halo, I don't want to start on a negative note, but seeing a lot of Halo 5 V2 comments. And that was my first gut reaction, too, was when I first saw some gameplay. It's like, I can see it, but I'm not going to be one of those anti-fanboys on Reddit and just kind of destroy the game and destroy myself and my views on it. Still very excited, and I agree with your gut reaction. It's definitely a lot of Halo put together, whether it's spit and duct tape or a shiny ball. Let's hope it's a shiny ball.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
So I guess I didn't watch the end of the video or anything. Did they announce when it's supposed to be released officially?
Holiday 2021.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they didn't even give us a date.
Anywhere between Labor Day and New Year's?
Yeah,
Correct.
pretty much.
We actually just discussed that before we got in here. It's
Yeah.
either Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
So they have a wide range to choose from. Hopefully it's just one of those dates.
Technically, Easter is a holiday,
Very true.
although that would be 2022.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be
But
surprising if that
Depending on
happened.
depending on where you end your year, fiscal year 2021.
There it is.
There it is. I still think that's 2022. But what was I thinking? Something else. I would fully expect them to release before Black Friday. That would just be me trying to make sense of when you would want to release a video game to maximize sales. That said, the multiplayer is free to play, so it doesn't matter as much, maybe, possibly.
I read something that I don't know what day Black Friday falls on, I guess like the calendar date, but that was going to be the 10-year anniversary of CE.
Oh, no, that's not Black Friday. November 15th.
15th, okay.
I think it's the 15th. 20-something was Halo 2, I think. God. Curtis, you had a thought.
Oh, I was just wondering what you guys think the retail price will be, like $60, $70, $80?
60 or less.
Mm-hmm.
because you're only paying for a campaign at this point.
Hmm.
Looks like a baller campaign, though. I'm much more excited for the campaign than the multiplayer.
All right.
Curtis, you did not watch the little campaign snippet that they released at E3. It was
No.
it's quite literally a snippet. You see 30 seconds on the ring as sort of like a flyby over kind of what's going on, and then it's like more of a cinematic thing going on.
Now, since the initial kind of gameplay video or whatever came out, weren't there a lot of like criticisms for it looking not outstanding?
Yes.
Yes.
Has
Very much
is
so.
that improved?
Yes, but I say that with a caveat. A lot of the gameplay that we see in the trailers that they released has been from multiplayer, which is a more confined area, and also their campaign is going to have real-time day and night cycle. Well, not real time,
Ooh.
but a day and night cycle. So,
Reflections.
yeah, reflections. Some of the really poor looking examples from that initial demo is attributed to the lighting.
Yep.
And because your time of day is shifting, you're getting weird things going on at various times of day. You won't have a perfect looking lighting situation going on at all the time. So having your dynamic static lighting in multiplayer matches is going to really allow you to make things look real nice.
And they didn't have this kind of time cycle in previous games?
No.
Oh.
No.
Interesting.
Because that was a snippet from the campaign
Yes.
gameplay, was the especially the AR
Yeah.
going through or just
Yeah.
rotating through the sun with just like the shadows rendering on the AR itself.
Yeah. And there have been a lot of comparisons of those shots with what we've seen of the gameplay. And they did do a lot of good texture work there, but I think lighting is also cheating us a bit, and that the campaign may not hold up quite as well as what people think it will. I'm still going to play it.
I guess that brings me to I guess that might be more of a marketing question, but since it's already been revealed that multiplayer is free to play, how big of an impact do you think that's going to be on just the campaign itself?
The people who were going to buy the game and play the campaign are still going to buy the game and play the campaign. I don't know, like, you're going to get a lot of people like come in, see what's going on with it, and then duck out. And I don't think that we should go to any excruciating length to keep them around if they're just not interested. That's just me.
That might be where the price range falls too.
Well, then you're getting into their microtransactions. They're going to have battle passes and cosmetics.
I did see that. Are you guys not looking forward to things like that?
It was inevitable to me. I mean, free to play, you got to think something like that's coming. I mean, it didn't overly shock me. Am I like a huge fan of it? Not really, but obviously they got to make revenue somewhere for a free to play multiplayer. So
I'm pretty much in the same boat where they said it was free to play, and I knew that microtransactions were going to be coming because they have to generate some kind of revenue stream. The interesting thing to me is that they went that direction. It's essentially 343 admitting that they are not going to be able to make up the cost of development in game sales, and that's understandable considering the game's been in development for 6 years. So, I'm not happy about it, but I understand the decision.
Now, did I see that you can also earn some of those in the actual campaign instead of buying them at the store?
Yes, but that's taken with the caveat that you paid $60 for a campaign, so
right, yeah,
you should be
it's
able
a
to
trade.
get some quote-unquote free things for your multiplayer.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And also, too, just to appeal to the free-to-play crowd as well. I guess just for popularity. I mean, you look at now again. Can I compare Halo multiplayer free-to-play to battle royales like Fortnite and every other like Call of Duty? That's like, hey, battle pass, battle pass. Obviously, you'll have a crap ton of kids. No matter what age, they'll pay for it. They'll buy it. And I feel like that's just their main goal, is that not just to buy the first one, but
to have everything.
yeah, hey, here's more armor coatings if you buy this battle pass. Which might turn people away, but hey, if it gets them money.
Yeah, that's why they got to do it. They got to make money.
Exactly.
Got to get a down payment for development of the next game going.
Yeah.
They said, I think last
no.
year, that Halo Infinite is supposed to last 10 years.
Yeah.
That's
What?
it's not going to happen. Curtis, these statements have been made before, and they have failed every time they've been made. Just look at Anthem. That was supposed to be a 10-year game. That got shut down after like a year and a half.
I mean, 10 years is a long
10 years is a
Yeah.
ridiculously long time. No, it's not going to last.
I feel like we discussed this the last time I was on the
I
show
think-
too.
Right.
That it's like,
Yeah.
how can you, for any game that you can possibly think of, with how rapid times are changing even today, can
Yeah.
you say that this game, all right, it's gonna go on for years and years? It's like, well, customization only goes so far in even new maps. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't keep a crowd in with just doing that.
And yeah, at what point are you just adding wonky content to get people to come back?
Exactly.
Who knows? We'll see.
Maybe you'll be able to play Fortnite players in the free multiplayer of Halo.
Well, it's funny you say that. You can play as Master Chief in Fortnite.
Right, that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking of. Just the reverse.
Just goofiness. I really hope they don't. Especially since they went through all this time and effort to revitalize the Halo art style. Like, that would kill me. I'd leave.
Yep.
I'd just sit and campaign for the rest of my life.
And I feel like that's also what happened with Halo 5 too, with obviously being the last game that I know you played it X times amount of hours that I did, but it just got to the point of, if you see an update or anything that's like, you lose excitement. And I think I can probably speak for you as well. You lose excitement after 2.5 years of, I mean, okay, you may not be a big fan of the game, but is there going to be something big that's going to draw you back? And that's where, now again, were you expecting Halo 5 to do that through 6+ years? No. But yeah, it's a tough battle. It's an interesting marketing strategy that they approached on that.
Yeah.
Do you think, is there any chance the campaign, for at least when they initially release it, they'll leave it on a cliffhanger? Does anybody do this, and then they release content in the future to resolve cliffhangers in games?
Nothing comes to mind offhand, but I think it's been done.
Okay.
That's a
That
good question.
said, like, Halo Infinite is kind of tying up the loose ends of Halo 5, which ended on a cliffhanger. We're gonna find out, I guess. I would expect them, because of the criticisms of Halo 5 leaving off in the place that it did, I would expect them to have a complete story.
Hmm.
And that's where I really hope that they, which hoping the last 6 years was worthwhile, put a lot of time and effort into that campaign alone. Because, again, now you have multiplayer with the game, and now I'm just comparing to games like I mentioned before, like Wolfenstein, Doom, not just speak on Bethesda's behalf, but if you kind of rush that campaign because it's so much fun, you're treating it like a Netflix series that you love, and then all of a sudden that DLC comes out, and you read into that DLC, it's like, holy crap, this is a pretty big expansion of the campaign that either goes off of, like a prequel, sequel. Then I think, as you mentioned before, I mean, it can't really be a prequel anymore.
Yeah.
They're going to have to make brand new content for a sequel going off of how Infinite's campaign ends. But I hope that they try to keep that alive versus, probably going to mention Call of Duty quite a bit tonight, but how it's okay. The campaign was fun for 45 minutes, but 90% of the population could care less,
Yeah.
and it's just all multiplayer.
Well, that's one of the weird and interesting positions that Halo finds itself in, is that it's one of the few games actually dedicating a lot of time and resources to a full campaign compared to the other games that also have a multiplayer segment. I mean, you look at Siege or even Call of Duty, it's like they're clearly either phoning it in or not even delivering a campaign.
Correct.
Looks like I've gone off the wonky meter.
Yeah.
Well, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? I don't know which chord I should wiggle.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
It's kind of fun.
Yes. Really brings me back to the 90s.
Yeah. Have you seen the music video for that? Take Me Back to the 90s?
No.
It's
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Same.
It's this group of dudes who pretend to be a boy band from the 90s, and it's kind of sung in that style.
Oh, lords.
So, it's a good song.
We can really tackle any topic that was brought up in
I
that
know.
multiplayer reveal.
I would like Curtis to get his questions out of the way before I go
AWOL a little bit, yeah.
There was something about the shield. You can drop the shield when you get killed.
Over
shield.
That is a topic I really wanted to discuss with you.
Power-ups being pickups instead of, well, they were always pickups, but like they're added as an inventory item, I suppose would be the proper phrasing. It's different. It's something I really want to play before I give a verdict on, but like just off my initial reaction is that it's going to be wonky and it's going to be ridiculous and or ignored in competitive play, where there's going to be too many situations where it's like, oh, the camera's about to power up or to respawn, and you're going to want to try and deny that because both teams will probably know about when it's coming up. So you're just going to try and want to activate it so that you deny its use for the other team. So while it's an interesting concept, I don't know how well that translates into competitive play, which I'm more interested in than casual.
Definitely, because even just like I'm now thinking about like back-end coding of you pick up that active camo and you keep it in inventory, and if the enemy kills you, you pick it up, you keep it in your inventory, then when does it kind of become a reverse game of oddball? If it's especially like a Slayer, then it's like, hey, if I stay by a teammate, hopefully there's not a double kill, and we just keep rotating active camo between our teammates, and then we can use it towards maybe a 48-48 match.
Sure.
It's a weird. I hope they also. Obviously, I don't know, and I don't think it was revealed in that multiplayer reveal of, okay, you pick it up, but if you keep it in the inventory, you have 5 minutes to use it, which I'm assuming they'd probably adopt something.
No. I suppose they could. That's one of the interesting questions to be answered once the game comes out, is like, once you pick it up, and if it's just sitting in your back pocket, does the respawn on that thing not begin until you actually activate it?
Mm-hmm.
I would assume the answer is it won't work. It won't go to respawn until someone activates it, because otherwise you get a team all holding an overshield and they activate it, and it's like, where's the fun in that? That'd be fun to set up, though. Like
definitely.
as a custom games options to do some really dumb stuff. But,
Agreed.
But in terms of actual pro play, no. I would assume the answer to be that. I don't know. These are the weird little things that we're gonna find out once we get to play the game.
That was interesting. That was definitely that was one of the things that I watched and then replayed, especially just watching the gameplay reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Just kept replaying, and I was like,
huh.
It kept me on the edge of my seat, but it was definitely a 50-50 that
right.
I'm either going to really like this and obviously now that's where the hot fixes and the patches come in after the first rounds of
Sure.
competitive play. It's interesting.
Yeah. But like I said, there's a good chance that in comp, we're just going to ignore it. It's like there's might just not be any situations where you wouldn't want to just activate your camo or overshield right away, even if you're not trying to deny the enemy team, just to give yourself the advantage in the immediate to try and build your lead or get back into a game or whatever. Maybe you delay that for a couple of seconds, but I don't see holding on to that long term
Beneficial.
being that beneficial. Except, of course, the other end of denial, once again, if it's not going to respawn until someone activates it, just holding on to it to make sure the other enemy team can't use it. But at that point, you might as well just take it off the map because one team's going to hold on to this thing for an entire match.
Exactly, especially the spawning system then too. I mean, that's what like when
I
I
hope they fix that.
first saw that like all those thoughts flooded my head. So not only power weapons, but then team spawning, enemy spawning, and then if someone's holding on to it, that
do they have more of an influence over spawns? That's an
Yeah.
interesting question.
It's a funky concept that if they can make it work, cool. And it might give you exactly what you said, maybe a couple seconds or maybe even like 30
Yeah.
that you can take that advantage. But it's an interesting. They said that related to previous Halos, and I couldn't really think of one that you could pick up. Again, you know the names better than I would. That like kind of a retro Halo style. Man, there's so many names flooding in my head, and I'm like, I don't recall any Halos having a.
No, none of them worked that way. Halo 5 was about as close as you got, where you just had to manually activate it.
Yep.
Instead of traditional Halo 1, 2, 3, where it was a power up on the map, you just walked into it and it activated. Good times.
Which could have been their main focus, Halo 5 and multiplayer. Here's hoping.
Halo 5 multiplayer. That's something I never want to touch again. Oof.
As you saw at my house, it was sitting on top of a cardboard box like a homeless person. And that hasn't been touched in a very long time.
Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Can't see what Curtis is doing, but it sounds like cat-related door nonsense. Oh no, he's coming out to. He's out here. He's in the garage.
See, this is where we need another Streamlabs. Hey, we will be right back.
Be right back. Technical difficulties.
Well, you should still be able to hear me, I think.
We
Definitely.
can. It was
Yeah.
it was very strange. Was not ready for it. I thought he was dealing with a cat. I was wrong.
Indeed, indeed.
What a fool I was. You
Fool of a took.
You foolish fool. Fool of a took. We'll be talking about that next week.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, there's so many
There's
things.
so many things. Cortana's back, except it's not Cortana. Curtis didn't see that, and he doesn't care.
Well, did I see you can get individual AIs or
Yep.
something?
Yes.
So what does that even mean? Like, do you get to design your own? Or?
You want to make your
No.
Spartan feel like you really are the Spartan.
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh god. You won't be designing. There'll be a set of them that you'll be able to pick from, and they'll just be basically a voice in your head telling you what's going on in the match.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So it's like an explanation for when the guy says Slayer or whatever.
That's the announcer, and he's still
Oh.
there,
Oh.
but
okay.
they're not gonna rely on him for everything in this game, which is different. I'm gonna see how it goes. I do hope that there's either one of these AI is very non-talkative, or you can toggle it off, because I have a feeling it's gonna get annoying, and I'm not gonna want to listen to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they tell me if I'm wrong, but I think just through after they announced that your personal AI, that's like, oh, they're telling you what you should do right there, right in your ear. That you grab the flag and you get on the back of a warthog, and they're like, "Get your ass back to the base,"
Yeah,
like
it's
something
like-
like that. I'm like, I mean, I know what I have to do.
You're right. It's like I've played Halo for the last 20 years. I know what I'm doing. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's where I'm just like, I hope there's either one that doesn't say much or you can toggle it off, because, yeah.
That's where
I
I'm
know what I'm
interested
doing.
about the overall voice, because I can't imagine too that if you and I have a different AI that you
Oh.
grab the flag and then all of a sudden yours might be like a female,
Yeah.
like, Morachip, get back to the base, and mine's like,
Well,
we have the flag, and I'm
yeah.
like, well, what's what's going on here?
What's-
I'm assuming there would be an overall voice, you'd imagine.
Well,
I
there's
mean,
there's an announce.
Yeah, the
the
announcer.
classic announcer's still there. Jeff Steitzer bringing his incredible voice. Flag taken. He won't say that anymore. God, Halo 3. Flag taken, flag dropped. 800 times.
That's just iconic, though. It's like, that's the only voice I would never get pissed off at. Like, it's just like I like hearing that. It's just funny.
It's funny for you and me. I recently, if Sam's watching, I got him Halo MCC, and I tried to get him into it. I took him into social first because, I wouldn't want to take him in competitive, but it's Halo 3 social, so it's not that great. And he was like, "Oh my God, he doesn't stop saying it." And I'm like, "No, he doesn't. It's great, isn't it?" It's like,
Exactly.
people who aren't used to it, I think, understandably get kind of annoyed. But for us, it's just like, that's just the way the game is.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden you fall asleep, and then flag take, and you wake up like, all right, now we're
Flag
good.
dropped. Fun times. Fun times. Yeah. Yeah. It's just to give more customization, personalization choices for them to have more stuff to sell to you in their battle passes and
Yep.
all that kind of nonsense is really the end result of it.
Agreed.
Nonsense.
Nonsense. Speculation in the Halo community thinks that they're all going to be dumb AI, which it's just a lore thing.
How so?
Well, there are two kinds of AI in the Halo universe, created by humanity anyways. Dumb and smart AI. Dumb AI are limited by their programming. They can't exceed that in any way, but they're really good at what they do. It's basically the fastest computer on Earth that we have now, except faster than that. Smart AI are basically human brains, but they deteriorate after about 7 years. That's what happened to Cortana in Halo 4. She was alive for 8 years. She was going nuts. Fun times.
Right. I recall.
Yes, Curtis, you do recall.
I just recall a couple cutscenes here and there. Chief, something, something, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Curtis, let me tell you, that doesn't narrow down any game. Any of the Halo games. That could be Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Sergeant Johnson needs to come back.
Everyone's been saying that. I get why people want it. I don't. I'm not that interested in having those voices, so I'm not the person to discuss what voice they would want back. I'm just like, it'll be there.
Nah, I hear you. We literally have endless.
Yeah, we could go on. Could go on.
I guess focused on
on.
multiplayer. The grapple hook. The grapple hook.
Grapple hook.
That could be
Alright.
probably a topic for a whole
Wow.
nother episode.
Well, it's a piece of equipment. They made a big point. Equipment's back. It's like, okay, equipment's back. The good thing about it being a piece of equipment is that we can get rid of it if it sucks or if it's overpowered or whatever. Thank God. Because
So I've been seeing a lot of half and half of you have. So obviously it's going to have limited use. You're not
Yes.
going to pick up the grapple and
then use it for the rest of the game. No.
like just cause, yeah. So I've been seeing it's like, oh, you can use it once, can use it twice. I didn't ever see anything about a third time,
Right.
but
Well, there's the one piece of gameplay that we see. You definitely see him use it twice.
yep,
He picks up the skewer at the one point, and then skyjacks the wasp, not a hornet. Hornet was Halo 3. Good times.
true.
So you can use it at least twice, but once again, we just haven't seen enough to know how it'll be working mechanically. I wonder, it would be cool. I don't know that they're going to do this, but it'd be cool if in your custom game settings, the game had enough robust settings that you could switch how many uses it has.
Definitely.
That'd be cool for custom games.
That'd be a
and stuff.
great action sack.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you could just set it to unlimited uses and then just create a wonky game type where everyone has it.
I saw a lot of arguments about hijacking
Mm-hmm.
and then also the power up grab. The power
Okay.
up grab, my first gut reaction, I was not a fan of. That they,
Oh, that you could grab power-ups and weapons with the grapple hook?
yes, no,
Okay.
the weapons. At first, I was like, hey, you have it, you have limited use,
Right.
go for it. But to do that, I mean,
Did we actually see them grab a power-up with the grapple hook? I don't think-
yes,
Did we?
yep.
When?
It was a overshield on, obviously, am I going to know a pre-release map name? No. But
Well, if you'd read the Halo, the Cannon Fodder article today, you might. No, I'm kidding. I did read it. I don't remember any of the names either.
But that's where I hope they limit. I guess the biggest one, not only just the power-ups, was
Mm-hmm.
vehicles.
Vehicles. Yeah.
You can grapple vehicles?
Yes, and
Yep.
then you can hijack them having grappled onto them.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But if it's a piece of equipment in limited quantity, I think that's self-balancing to a certain extent. I can understand where people would think, oh, it's really annoying because he has so much range to be able to hijack you when you're in a ghost or something. Chopper's back. I'm excited.
Heck yeah.
On the other hand, you can do it once, twice, and then what? You know, it's like, I think it'll be all right. It's another thing. You just gotta play the game to figure this stuff out, and until we get our hands on it, I'm not gonna know.
That actually brings me to another thought of if the grapple hook has whatever they call the limited usage of.
Right.
So if you have two, that if one is just going to be a weapon, so it's like two power to it. So if you use two,
Oh,
it's going
okay.
to hijack a vehicle. If
Yeah.
you use one, that's going to take a power weapon.
Well, going back to the skewer part, the skewer is technically a power weapon, I think. So I don't think that's how it'll work, but that'd be an interesting thought for post-game, like post-release balancing, to try and figure it out. Who knows?
It definitely looks like it has some range.
Yeah. Well, it's grapple hook. Kind of should.
Speaking of equipment, there was one scene. It was like an
repulsor?
Iron Man.
The repulsor thing?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see that surviving competitive play.
Same, because like the gameplay that I can recall was he was running with a grav hammer and literally goes up, looks like 2 flights, and then sees 3 enemies,
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, that's a pretty big change of gameplay right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
the insane movement difference that it would give you.
yep.
In addition to being able to block back, we saw an overcharged plasma pistol, and I assume it'd be an interesting mechanic for it to block back grenades or something. Like, that would be fun mechanic for, once again, custom games. I don't see that surviving competitive play. It reminds me a little bit of the armor lock, where it's basically just a no U thing, no U button.
Yep.
What else did we see? We saw the drop shield in multiplayer. which
Yep.
looked to function quite differently from what we saw in campaign, which made me question if it was even the same piece of equipment at first. It might just be they might have changed it
You have a
since we
keen
saw
eye.
it. Yeah. I'm insane. Um,
But it was like similar to, I don't know if I have any Overwatch players here. I probably played 3 hours of Overwatch, so I'm not even calling myself an expert.
look
That
at you, the Overwatch expert.
the shield drops and you can shoot through it,
Mm-hmm.
and then enemies can still shoot at it to weaken it, which has obviously been seen throughout
Yeah.
Halo campaigns.
Yeah.
I wonder, yeah, if that's gonna be in competitive or.
Yeah. It's so weird to look at these things and just go, I don't think that'll work. It's such an odd feeling because clearly they've spent a lot of time and effort and thought into trying to balance these pieces of equipment to the best degree possible because they are supposed to also give you, an advantage on the battlefield to a degree.
Yep.
And you got to think they're a little OP at some point. I don't know.
And that's where I don't blame you. That's where I tried coming into this too without like a very pessimistic perspective of just playing Halo for a very long goddamn time. To if you just like put yourself in situations with the equipment they already revealed of whether it's ball or CTF, that you put that down, and you could also have invisibility in your freaking
pocket,
inventory.
yeah.
That you just kind of start placing that and holding that together. It's gonna be interesting to see how they balance that, especially as you just mentioned before, competitive. Because I don't think a lot of people. Well, I shouldn't say I can't speak for the masses, but after witnessing all this of
Yeah.
the true ride or die are going to be, what is competitive going to look like?
What is competitive going to look like? That is a big question. A big question that we don't know an answer to. We don't have an answer to. Hopefully we've learned from...
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hopefully we've learned from Halo 5, where we spent 2 years playing full radar AR starts, that we're not going to just lock the competitive community into settings that they don't want to play. It is 343, so I'm not holding my breath too much. But I really hope that if the competitive community decides, no, this stuff doesn't work, that we're just going to, axe it and move on with our lives. That's pretty much my hope, my only hope at this point. Because all these things that they're adding, sure, it'll work fine, but I just see too many issues long term for competitive play to really integrate a lot of this stuff well.
And I feel like that would keep the.
Hello, airplane.
Is that a Pelican? Maybe.
Pelican's coming in.
I think that would keep the longevity of multiplayer alive too, because I feel like that was a huge downfall of H5 as well. That if you're a competitive Halo player,
It was great.
and all of a sudden some changes, and then it's like
Oh gosh.
majority of the community say, "Hey, this is broken. This map's broken." Whatever the case may be, it's pretty easy for them to respond to a map. I know they'd be down in, I guess, time spent on, we're going to make this a competitive map. Okay, that failed. Get it out of here. I mean, they responded to that.
Say that. We played Stasis for like 3 months before they finally decided, oh yeah, this map isn't good. And they let us get rid of it, but no one liked that map. I remember we were still using map vetoes at that time. That was the most vetoed map in the circuit. That was crazy. Oh, different times. There was one European team that liked it, so they never vetoed it. Everyone else was just like, no, get rid of this map. It sucks. It's stuff like that that makes me pause and go, are we going to have to live with, a broken repulsor thing or drop shield or whatever in hell they're going to try and put in it?
And that's what scared me about, I'm just going to give a police suspect description of him. He was wearing a white button-up t-shirt, black hat, and I believe he was the level designer in the video.
Okay.
That he's like, oh, we're bringing like chaos to these maps, that it's just going to be pretty chaotic. And that was another thing that gave me a reverse gut reaction of, well, I mean, now, do you want action in the competitive multiplayer FPS you're playing?
Yeah.
Yes. But then you bring this up after all the equipment that's been introduced, and then kind of seeing some pre-released map footage of that said map, and
Yeah.
it's like, well, now how much chaos are we talking about of not only control and balance, because I believe that was also mentioned too. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, we want balance, and if you bring in brand new equipment, and I'm not going to hate on right now, again, we haven't even touched it, that's got to be a separation between
Yeah.
balance itself. I mean, I feel like that's going to be a tough battle for them, bringing brand new equipment into a lot of Halo competitive players have been playing for a long time.
Yeah. I think the oldest is, well, the longest. The person who's been playing the longest is Pistola. Because he was FFA in H2 back in like 04, 05. So I think him and Snipedown are like the longest still competing. And that's if Snipedown does come back to Halo. He's doing Apex Legends stuff right now. I assume he wants to, but it'll depend on if he thinks the game's good. Which I don't blame him there.
He's with TSM now, right?
I don't know who's with now. I haven't paid attention to
think he
Snipedown.
is. Hey, at least we're not playing Apex. I mean,
At least we're not playing Apex. Yeah. The Titanfall knockoff.
Exactly.
Rest in peace, Titanfall. You're never getting a third game.
Valid.
He joins Left 4 Dead and Half-Life.
That it does.
Curtis is like, what?
Is Half-Life the game with the weird robot singing the song at the end?
No, that's Portal. It also
that's
joins
Portal.
Portal. Portal never got a third game. And Team Fortress?
Yeah.
Got a lot of Valve games on this list. Weird.
Yes, indeed.
The common joke, Curtis, is that Gabe Newell, the creator and owner of Valve, couldn't count to 3. Curtis, there's a Half-Life 2 Episode 2. It's like a piece of DLC. There will never be Half-Life 3. It won't be done.
I seem to recall the band Tool had been working on their next album for a long time, and on the website Ultimate Guitar, in the comment section, the common joke was, well, we'll get the next Tool album when Half-Life 3 comes out.
Yes. So never.
But the new Tool album came out, so...
So, Gabe Newell, what are you up to?
Exactly. What are you doing?
What are you doing? He's making all the simoleons off of Steam. He doesn't need to make games anymore.
Yeah. That's where, I mean, I guess we were just talking about multiplayer map design.
Oh boy.
But I feel like we've already touched on the Spartan customization, as you mentioned, Curtis, with the individual AI.
Yeah.
What do you think about the armor?
The armor itself looks cool. Like, the actual armor pieces looks cool, looks Halo, and I'm like, cool. Also something, I don't know, some people have noticed it. What they call an armor core, I think, is what's going to change your undersuit. Because some people, some of the Spartans you see are wearing the Mark 5B, the Spartan 3 undersuit, so. And then some have the Mark 7 Gen 3 stuff. Curtis is like, I don't know what in the hell you're talking about.
All I saw was that there's shininess with with the armor. Is that right? Did I see that?
That's gonna depend on coding, I guess, because they put material into that. It's a damn shame.
There's also the use of prosthetics now.
Yes.
Oh,
Though,
really?
limbs.
Yeah, prosthetic limbs were in Halo Reach, although it was only the right arm, and only on certain armor sets.
Sorry to you lefties out there.
Yeah, sucks to be you. Yeah, but it was just like, oh yeah, you can have a robot right arm. Okay, that's neat. and then it never came back, and they're bringing it back. So that's cool, I guess. It's a sci-fi universe. The thing that doesn't make sense to me is that Halo in universe has flash cloning, so they could clone limbs and reattach them. So I'm like, what's the point of prosthetics? But Reach didn't care either, so I guess we're too far down the road at this point.
You're actually shamed if you have a prosthetic. Then.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
The only thing I didn't like about the, I guess I don't want to say armor coating by any means, but I noticed when they were on the customization profile going through the video that the Spartan had red on the left arm, like green on the right arm, or whatever other color, and then obviously a majority same color body armor.
Yeah, that's all armor coating.
There's something to me about, I guess, multicolor that, like, the camo I thought was very cool, but if you're kind of starting to paint your Spartan like a rainbow, I feel like you're kind of starting to dip off to a...
It's gonna happen. There's gonna be a rainbow Spartan armor coating at some point, and I'm gonna hate it.
I don't know. Again, it's like I'm not hating on it, but it's just another thing that obviously you probably have a very big list of something that turns you the wrong way.
Yeah.
That obviously, are we ever going to have a perfect halo in our eyes anymore? No, but just some stuff like that to a degree, which I guess obviously customization is inevitable if they want it to be a 10-year game. Yeah. You have to do something.
You're gonna have to do something. I would assume that their first order of business is going to be bringing more armor, like actual armor, into the game, because they were talking about like the first season's Heroes of Reach or something. So you're going to have primarily Reach-based armor, and then I assume they're going to do like Halo 3 stuff, and then maybe Halo 4, Halo 5 stuff. Although they do have some Halo 4, 5 armors in there, and they redesigned them to make them more fit what we consider to be the Halo aesthetic. Which I'm good with. Because now it doesn't look like crap.
And we talked about, I think, the last time I was here about Master Chief being... they took some steroids from him to be a little smaller.
Yeah. They thinned him slightly. That's all right. He was, if you look at, I think that was Deliver Hope, was the 2019 trailer. He's chunky. He's got some chunk. It's like, man, he's a big dude.
But to me, to go off into a different game, when I picture Master Chief, I also picture Doom Guy.
Okay.
That's like, even in Doom Eternal, I mean, he is just like...
Well, Jason Tubbs, let me tell you about this little thing that happened a couple months ago. Bethesda was acquired by Microsoft.
Yes.
We could have crazy crossovers. Doom Guy and Master Chief can meet up now.
Not anymore. He slimmed down. He's a twig now. He's got nothing going for him.
Slim fast.
Exactly.
There have been so many people who are like, bring Doom Guy armor into Halo Infinite. I'm like,
oh, not
you don't even have to ask for it. It's gonna happen. We knew it was gonna happen. They bought him. Of course they're gonna do it. The samurai armor looks cool.
I agree.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, of the Bethesda crossover.
Oh boy. When's the Skyrim content coming in?
Oh god, yeah, geez. It's gonna come out in your Game Boy Advance. Todd is gonna have...
Todd Howard.
He probably, now, again...
He's working on Starfield.
Okay, I was gonna say, he's probably... I mean, if he's touching Halo by any means, it's gonna be very behind closed curtains, if anything.
I mean, he will have played the game and seen it and done some kind of discussion about it with someone, but he's not developing it in any way. Bethesda's still making their own games. He doesn't have time for that.
Do you know, this is kind of a off-topic question, I apologize, but you know what his title is now? Going with Microsoft?
Not offhand. I assume he kept whatever position he had at Bethesda.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some creative director or something. Project lead. Some trumped up title.
Yep.
Curtis, your thoughts of Starfield?
I have no idea.
Okay. Todd Howard described it as a Han Solo simulator.
I think I saw that quote somewhere.
I saw it floating around, so.
Yeah. Xbox exclusivity. It
Yep.
can be frustrating for PlayStation owners. Dun, dun,
Sucks
dun.
to be you. No, I'm not. I understand. It's one of those things where I understand and I get it, but it's like, kind of sucks to be a PlayStation owner at that point. It's like, oh, what are you gonna do? But
Todd Howard says Starfield is Skyrim in space.
Pray.
Pray, yes. That reminds me of another quote by a one Mr. Adam Kovic, who no one watching this probably knows, but he got in trouble by the Me Too crowd, kind of, but he actually did cheat on his wife, so it was kind of deserved.
R.I.P.
Yeah, but he once described Far Cry 3 as Skyrim with guns, so that's where my brain went.
Yeah, that's a vast comparison.
Yeah.
I never was into that game.
Far Cry?
No, not Far Cry. Starfield.
Starfield hasn't come out yet.
Isn't it?
That's the game they showed a teaser for this year
Oop.
from Bethesda.
This is where we cut to timeout.
Yep. Yeah, Starfield's a new IP, my dude. There's nothing about it. We have a 2-minute teaser. That's it.
I can actually see a lot now, not only Starfield, but huge Bethesda fans on PlayStation going forward of seeing that.
And thinking, oh my god, is Elder Scrolls 6 going to be an Xbox exclusive?
Bingo.
That's the thought process they're trying to project for sure. I don't know if they'll follow through on that, at least immediately. At some point, yes. Immediately, I'm thinking no. But we're going to see in 7 years when Skyrim 2 comes out.
Correct. Speaking of cross-platform, that was a huge topic in
Oh, yeah.
the multiplayer reveal.
Crossplay, yes, between Xbox and PC.
PC.
They did, in one of those Inside Infinite blog posts that they've released over the past 6 months? 7 months?
Survey says
Survey
7 months.
says 7 months. Okay, that's what we're going with. They did already say that, at least for ranked playlists, crossplay will be disabled, depending on your input device, so KBM or controller. So if you're playing against a guy on a PC with controller, you can still play against him on Xbox, but
Is that a good thing?
it's a thing. I don't know. A lot of KBM players were complaining about MCC with controller aim assist being too high. I think to a degree they could be right, but to another degree they're just bad at Halo.
Ooh.
I've played the game on a controller for 15 years. Yes, I'm going to outshoot you. Get good.
I never really understood that either in MCC. That now obviously I'm sitting next to Master Chief's son himself, but when I'd try, and I appreciate your patience when I was going through just hysteria of Halo Reach, I feel like was the big, hey, we're going to use KBM and play multiplayer.
Yeah.
That we play Team Snipes. I go 7-13 with controller. Next time with KBM, I go 8-17, and I'm like, ha, look at that. I got one more kill, but I just died more. I don't want to admit that I'm bad, because sometimes I'm good.
Right.
But
No.
to your extent, exactly like speaking Halo,
Yeah.
like it's...
Like, I've played a couple of games KBM on MCC. A lot of it is just like my muscle memory telling me, play controller. It's just gonna work out for you,
Yep.
and really that's the truth. Like I could devote a bunch of time to KBM. I don't want to, but I was still doing fine because it's just like, oh, I know where the spawns are. I know where to look. It's just like all these years of game knowledge where I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna do fine either way.
That's honestly how I treat my gaming PC now. Is literally just a bloated Xbox. That's like cool. I can better graphics, this and this, and I get into a game and I'm like, man, I'm just gonna plug into my Xbox controller, and this is gonna be a $900 Xbox. There we go. It'll be interesting to see, though.
Yeah, yeah. We can circle back to more Halo stuff. Curtis is interested in Sea of Thieves.
Oh, I was intrigued. At first, I didn't really know what the heck it was, what was going on.
Sea of Thieves is a game released by Rare in 2016? I think it was 2016. I don't remember. And the game was lauded for having no content. And they have slowly, over the course of years, added content. And this is the most recent batch of content.
Ah, I see.
See how I said content 5 times in 30 seconds? I could give a presentation and be boring.
Was it a new Sea of Thieves or just a mad DLC?
Yeah, mad DLC
Yeah,
is
okay.
what they're doing with that. It's one of those live service thingamajigs.
Ah.
So yeah, big boy Microsoft paid the big bucks to owns all everything Disney. So
did they actually get Johnny Depp for the voice?
that's a good question. I don't know.
Oh, I'll look it up.
There have been other Pirates of the Caribbean games. I assume there's a half-decent voice actor out there that can do that. But
Yeah.
maybe it's possible. I know it wasn't the real Mr. Gibbs. You could hear it. It wasn't the right inflection. And then they had, of course, Mr. Cotton seemed to have returned. I assume they got him in there for about 5 seconds. He's the mute. He doesn't have a tongue.
Mhm.
With the parrot?
Yeah. Well, I didn't see the parrot, so it was just Mr. Cotton.
I can also see the Johnny Depp playoff, too, for just like a pretty big tease, but potentially having some redundant cameos of...
Sure.
I mean, hey, if you get Johnny Depp, you get Johnny Depp, because he looks like he's been living under the sewers with Master Splinter for a while.
Well, yeah, he's good TMNT reference.
Thank you.
You're welcome. He's been going through legal trouble with Amber Heard, so I would actually be surprised if they did get him because he's been going through stuff.
This article I'm reading says it is not him. It's
Like I said,
Jared Butler.
Jared Butler.
Oh, it's possible that the voice is Jared Butler.
They don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have been actually very surprised if they had gotten Johnny Depp.
Especially for a voiceover, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
unless you're Katie Sackhoff,
Right.
Kurt's got it. That's all right. Damn it. Doesn't matter. Mandalorian.
ah, gotcha.
Katie Sackhoff voiced an animated character in the Clone Wars, and then they brought that character to live action. They were just like, yeah, we'll just get the actress who voiced her because she's an actual actress.
Perfect. That's an ideal world.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it looks kind of a little cheesy. I don't know.
That's the graphical style, I assume. That's throwing you off there.
Kind of reminded me of, I don't know, like the Kingdom Hearts stuff or something in that same vein. But I don't know. I'll have to check it out, I guess, when
Curtis
it
is
comes
going to
out.
check it out. You have to buy the game, Curtis.
Maybe I will.
Wow. All right. Gives me a reason to buy it. I haven't played it since, like, the first month that it came out.
I was going to say, I remember you playing it for a tiny portion.
Yeah, I got a free trial for it for like 2 weeks. So I messed around with it, and then I was like, okay, there's not much to do here. moved on, but they've added stuff, so maybe. Curtis,
Stuff.
we could have a hearty crew.
Hearty.
I'll be Willie Two Legs. They be calling me that on account of me having 2 legs.
I'll be Seamus. It's a
Seamus.
Family Guy reference, but he's all wooden arms and legs.
Well, me paps and me grandpaps each had a peg leg apiece. Me ma didn't even have legs.
Oh, if we're talking pirates, and I'll be Barbosa.
You gotta come up with your own pirate. That's where Willie Two Legs came from.
Oh, you just came up with that?
No, I came up with that 2 years ago when I tried the game for 2 weeks.
Oh, gotcha.
This has been percolating in the back of my head
All
for
right.
all that time. Like, Willie Two Legs has a backstory now that he did not.
Wow.
So that'll be in the back of my head.
Okay.
About 30 minutes going on, then I'll just scream a
Alright.
random pirate name.
All right,
Like, "Yep,
I'm
that's
waiting
me."
for it. I'm excited. I look forward to it.
My conversations might just go right to piss, but I'll be thinking about it.
It's all right. It's all right. It's a good thing to think about. We all
True.
need a good piratey name.
Very true.
Yar. See, now Curtis is also thinking about pirate names. Isn't it great?
Yes. So many possibilities.
So many possibilities. Can you top Willie Two Legs?
Maybe. Probably not. I don't know.
We're going to find out once you get the game. I'm not going to set
Bingo.
sail until you have a pirate name, Curtis.
Oh boy. Okay.
I will sink my ship. You can do that.
Nice.
I know, it's great.
That was a good tangent, though.
Thank you.
That was good.
You know,
Were there any other big announcements at E3? Any other games on the horizon?
things that I'm actually interested in, not really. Breath of the Wild 2, a new Metroid. That's about it.
Is that a Zelda thing?
Breath of the Wild 2 is, yes, Zelda.
Ah. Okay.
Metroid is its own thing.
Ah.
Though Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out next year, we got another 2.5-minute trailer. So, not much there, to be honest.
Did they say if it was a holiday?
Nope, they just said 2022.
Oh, so you can't even... Yeah, you can
It's-
put a lot on your hands
Yeah,
now.
no. It is Nintendo. They could actually just release it whenever.
True.
Yeah. They're weird like that. That's okay. I like it. Metroid comes out in October. I actually want to get it. Looks fun. Excuse me. Burped.
Now, is that on the Switch?
Yep. I have one.
I do too, but the Joy-Cons, if I go right, also my character goes left to Africa, and I
Yeah.
don't really know what to do anymore. It's hard to play Super Mario Sunshine when you're squirting the lava, and then all of a sudden you're
Yeah.
killing a toad.
Get new Joy-Cons.
I did my research
Or-
that you definitely have to trust the resource, because when they came out with that,
Oh, yeah.
they said like,
Stick
hey, we
drift and
understand
all
what's
this
going
stuff,
on,
yeah.
but then people kept ordering new ones, and they're like, hey, this is still drifting. Now, do we know if they were spilling Mountain Dew in them or anything?
Right.
No. But
All right, then answer number 2 is get a Pro Controller.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the route I went. Saved my life.
Not literally?
Not
or literally? Okay.
No, not literally.
I was gonna say this would become a Dr. Phil episode pretty soon.
Yeah. Exactly.
Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o. See, what else did Xbox show? Like, Forza 5? Horizon 5, I should say, because there's also Forza Motorsport. Yeah. I don't care.
Not my cup of tea.
Horizon 5, I only bring that up because it was nominated for Best of Show. I'm like, really? It was like the most rehearsed presentation in the entire thing. It was like, they were having one of those real gamer conversations where it's like, oh, look at that incredible thing that I'm going to name exactly. I'm like, oh my god.
Ugh.
It felt like that Anthem presentation. Do you remember that reveal? I bet you don't.
You're correct.
I wish I was you then. I wish I didn't remember it. It was bad. People were excited for that game. It's weird.
Yeah, yikes. I feel like Forza is just like Grand Theft Auto with morals.
You can't get out of the car. It's just a
Ex-
driving
again,
game
I
with
guess it's
morals.
like I'm not saying that whenever I play like Grand Theft Auto, I'm going over 100 that I just want to like bump into a group of pedestrians. That's not what I'm saying by any means, but I guess just being bored with content, which again then brings to popularity of GTA Online.
Oh yes, a
Of, like-
game that has actually survived. God, we're going
That
on
might
10
be-
years.
That might be the only. Sorry, Curtis. That might be the
You
only
hit the
game.
TV.
That might be the only game I know that's been the longevity is there, especially the
Yeah.
Twitch popularity too. I mean, if you have a couple popular Twitch
It's
streamers,
never died. Yeah.
I mean, they're pulling in 40K on race modes in GTA Online. I mean, that says a lot.
the biggest pay-to-win game in existence that people just keep paying for.
Exactly.
Isn't it great?
Well, I keep seeing streams where people go in and, mod their characters to look like aliens or Godzilla
That
or
also
something.
happens.
And, I don't know, it looks like they have quite a few viewers on those. So.
Yeah, they do.
Definitely.
They definitely do. Yeah, GTA has managed to have its own modding scene, but also have enough content just keep being added that it hasn't
Yep.
survived purely on mods like, say, Skyrim.
Correct.
It's weird. What's
I wanted to circle back to Halo
oh boy,
because I just remembered
coming back around.
the quote from that
Quote.
video where the lady was like, "It's like John Wick,
Oh god.
but Halo," or
No.
something
As she
John
misses
Wick.
all
Yeah,
her
she
pistol
missed-
shots.
She
Oh.
missed so many shots. It was so funny. It's just like, oof. That might not have been her playing. They just threw pistol gameplay up right after that. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. It was just random pistol gameplay. I don't know.
It does make me want to watch John Wick 3 again.
John Wick 3 is a great movie.
Yeah, it's with like the knife scene. Well, yeah, he's like throwing
Yeah.
knives at the one dude.
More knives everywhere.
Yeah. I'm really glad you guys made me go watch that movie.
You're
'cause,
welcome.
I had no idea.
You had no idea. Curtis,
And I think the third one was maybe the wrong one to start with. but
probably.
Perhaps.
I was a little confused, but,
Mm-hmm,
you get the idea.
But that just gave us the perfect birthday presents to get you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Jason, you've seen the John Wick movies?
I have not seen the third.
Oh.
Third
Well,
one's
you'll
really
have
good.
to watch it. I was laughing very hard in the theaters while watching it. I mean, there's a lot of like kind of gruesome action going on, but so over the top.
It is, isn't it great?
Mm.
Who directs those movies?
The stunt coordinators from The Matrix are
Mm.
the guys doing it, right?
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
or at least
Next
maybe
year's
not the
just-
coordinators, but people who were involved with the stunt work in the Matrix movies. Essentially, the John Wick films came about because Keanu Reeves was buddies with those guys, and they were like, we kind of want to do an action film. And he was like, okay, let's do it. Let's have fun. So they did.
Director is Chad Stahelski.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of the Matrix guys for sure.
Now, when you say John Wick 3 of being over the top, are you talking like Fast and Furious or like Quentin Tarantino?
Tarantino.
Yeah, more.
Gore and
Yeah. More so Tarantino than Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
God, what happened to the Fast and Furious franchise?
Whoa, yeah,
Talk about tangents.
yeah. My God, they'll come out with 2 more before we get Infinite.
Well, oh no, they tried to spin off with Hobbs and Shaw, and that didn't work. So they were like, "Get Dom back, quick! Save the franchise." It's one of like 2 things Universal's still making money off of, so I don't completely blame them.
True.
It's that and what, Jurassic World, aka
Jurassic
Park.
World 3, whenever the heck that comes
God.
out.
I hope it never does.
Is that still gonna be with Chris Pratt?
Yeah.
What do you think about that movie?
Jurassic World.
Yes.
The first one is a rehash of Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
It's watchable, but it's devoid of any meaning.
Like Star Wars Force Awakens.
Yes, almost exactly like that.
Hmm.
Very comparable. Jurassic World 2 I didn't watch, but I heard much about, and it seemed really dumb. That's why I didn't go watch it.
Yep, I have not seen.
Curtis was
Yeah.
like, it was okay.
Yeah, it was fine. It's just another. It was another summer dinosaur movie.
When Curtis says something is fine, that's about as close as it's going to get to him actually being negative towards a movie.
No, there are some movies that I don't really. Lots of horror movies that I don't need to
Right,
watch
but
again.
that's you disliking a genre. In terms of an actual like blockbuster movie, it's about as close as you get to actually saying the movie was bad.
Yeah.
It's like the fourth Harry Potter movie. Look at
Yeah.
that Big Bang reference. You didn't expect that one now, did you?
I did not.
Didn't think so.
I got so much hate from my family when we went to go see, the whole Tubbs family went to go see Force Awakens.
Oh, boy.
And I got a good earful from him. And obviously went on Reddit. I'm like, all right, I'm going to see.
I think that was The Last Jedi, wasn't it?
It was ever the first one that Disney took over.
I could have sworn. I don't know. The first one was
could.
Force Awakens. I thought it was The Last Jedi. I don't know.
That
Maybe I'm thinking of my Last Jedi experience, you know?
I gave it. I didn't go in saying just like I'm not going to do with Infinite. I'm like, this is going to be a hot piece of garbage. And then after like an hour and 45, I was like, okay, we still have a good hour left. I thought it was very long for the movie that it was. And then after it, all my fanboy, fangirl family members like, oh, that was awesome. That was great. That was great. And I'm like, it's not Star Wars. They're playing the Disney heartstrings, whether you're 6 or 66. That it's like you get some good action scenes. Exactly what you said. It's like your good dinosaur movie. That's how I was going. It's like, all right, it's going to be a good Star Wars movie, just action, I guess. And after I left, I was like, yeah, that I kind of wanted to raid Marcus Theaters. Like, hey, just literally take that memory from my brain, and I'll go watch something else.
Yeah. That's 2.5 hours I wish I could have back.
Exactly.
That was me coming out of The Last Jedi. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I still remember. I have a vivid memory of driving back to the dorms after seeing that movie. I had some buddies. We went and saw it opening night. And we were just, like, silent in the car for, like, 3 minutes. Maybe it was longer. And then I was just like, so that kind of sucked, didn't it? And they were like, yeah, it did. It's just like, I'm glad that I wasn't the only one thinking it, but it was just like, it was so weird, bizarre coming out of that movie.
It is weird.
Very strange.
Hmm.
So, Curtis, what other blockbusters have you been disappointed about?
That's a great question.
To take this discussion completely off topic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm looking at the Lord of the Rings books here. We all know which of those blockbusters were disappointments.
Yes. Yes. We all
Those
know which...
prequels.
Yeah, and now they're making more prequels. Aren't you not excited at all? Because I'm not.
I don't know. I'll have to see it.
He has faith.
I have hope.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Curtis,
Believe.
did you see the new teaser trailer for Pickard with John DeLance?
No, I didn't. There's a new
Yes.
teaser trailer?
Came out today.
Oh my gosh.
I would have sworn that you of all people would have seen it.
No, I was driving. I had to drive down to La Crosse and then over to
boy.
Madison and back today.
Oof.
So that was a good 7 hours
that's
driving
that's
or
a
something.
hefty drive.
Yeah.
Well, now I've given you something to look forward to at the end of this, what I assume is less than exciting for you discussion.
Well, I mean,
In terms of an overall, like you've had some moments, I'm sure, but you're listening to me and Tubbs talk about Halo for 35, 40 minutes. I don't expect you to be entirely engaged for all that time.
that's okay. That's okay.
That's okay. That's why we only do these once a year.
Yeah, every 10 months, whatever that math comes out to be.
Well, We'll see when we record next year, and then we'll have more data, more accurate.
True.
Yeah, maybe the new game will come out on January 1st, and we'll have to do it January 1st. Or whatever the
Or
Wednesday
whatever.
nearest to that ends up
Yeah.
being.
Possibly. Guess we'll find out.
I guess speaking of movies,
Movies.
Marvel series.
It's over.
Loki's great.
It's over.
Oh, man.
Curtis doesn't like that I've just accepted that the series ended at Endgame, and I don't care anymore.
It didn't. There's so much happening, and you're going to miss out on all of it, I guess.
I guess I am.
Which is
I don't
just
care.
a shame. Tubbs, are you keeping up with any of the Disney Plus stuff? Do you have Disney Plus?
I do through a friend of a friend of a friend, which I feel like that's probably majority of
Nice.
the population's Netflix and Hulu, all that access.
Right.
Well, I'm ripping this guy off, so.
It's
Yes, indeed.
Mandalorian's been the number one on my mind. Just do
that's
it.
great.
Just watch it. Nothing but positives. That's my first.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember how television, like 15, 20 years ago, you would watch an episode and then
Wait a week,
right?
kinda?
Yeah. And then the story would be done at the end of that episode, and then next week you would have another adventure or whatever's going on. That's The Mandalorian. And I'm like, this is what I grew up watching. This is great. It's syndicated television all over again.
I do wish that they could drop them all, and then I could just binge it, but
Ugh, disgusting.
I don't know. Because then you can
and your
you
Netflix
watch until-
binging.
you watch
ruined
until like
you.
4 a.m, and then you're like, oh, I should probably go to sleep now. You know?
No, I don't.
We don't sleep.
Sleep is for the weak. I'm a very weak person.
Same. I got 4 hours of sleep last night, and I'm feeling
then,
great.
Then you're stronger than me. Sleep is for the weak. You have less sleep. You're
Ah.
stronger.
Ah,
Yep.
right.
Speaking of Marvel movies, I'm not
Boy.
trying to indicate anything. I could not get into Black Panther.
Okay. I didn't watch it.
You didn't?
No,
You didn't?
No, I didn't watch Captain Marvel either. It was just
Same.
at that time when I was just like, oh, it's another Marvel superhero movie. I kind of understand what the formula is. I don't need to watch it. I'll show up for Avengers. And I did.
Well, I guess if you're not watching any of the future Marvel stuff, you're probably fine not watching Captain Marvel then, because it sets up, I think, some of Phase 4.
Okay. Yeah, I'm done.
Hmm.
I'll watch it as Guardians of the Galaxy. That'll be fun.
And Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
I'll think about it.
Well, Loki is leading up
Yes,
into
so I've
multiverse
heard.
stuff.
I've been talking with the raddest of sads about it.
Well, it's enjoyable.
Okay.
If
I'll
you
take your
find
word for
yourself instead of watching Red versus Blue for about the 50th time,
I'm
you
not
could watch a
doing that.
Loki episode and enjoy it.
I could, I suppose, or I could not.
You'd be a great Rotten Tomatoes critic.
Just absolutely savage and pointless. Yeah.
Oh, I guess now I'm flipping universes to DC.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh. That next the last Wonder Woman film,
1984.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
Didn't watch it.
oof, it gave me some acid reflux, let me tell you. It was something that we may, or I guess even myself, had a lot of high hopes going into, because I actually really liked,
The first one was decent.
yeah.
Yeah.
And going into the second one, I was like, oof.
My
Yeah.
mother really loved it. So.
The second one?
Yep.
Props to you, not judging by any means.
I am judging. No, I'm kidding.
It was kind of similar to the Force Awakens experience of like, you give it the first hour, I was like, okay. But then that hour, 1 minute hits, and I'm like, all right, I might
Just kind of
throw up, kind of.
Yeah. But let me tell you, the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, 4 hours of brilliance.
It's pretty good.
Even Curtis enjoyed it.
Yeah.
He liked Star Trek Into Darkness, so don't take anything what he says that seriously.
He can still hear you.
I know.
Yeah. you can. Yeah, you can. Talk
He knows
as
of my
quietly
thoughts
as
about
you-
Star Trek Into Darkness. Let me tell
Yes.
you.
I'm just wooed over by Benedict Cumberbatch.
I know you are, and I don't understand it.
He's just so great.
He can't save the horrible writing of that movie.
You know they're working on the 4th one.
It's
He might
not-
come back.
They've said that for 6 years.
Yeah. Maybe they're making a bit of revenue from
Paramount
Plus.
Yeah.
It'll fund it.
There it is.
Right. Sure. Okay.
I wonder if Tom Cruise is... Well, I don't know if they're going to release Mission Impossible 7. I would assume he wants to do a theatrical release.
I would assume so too. I would go and watch it in theaters
Yeah.
because Tom Cruise is like the last action hero, except not the movie, The Last Action Hero.
Have you seen... there is a Deadpool comic, I think, where he interacts with Loki,
Okay.
and Loki says something to the effect that he is Deadpool's father in whatever universe this is, and
Okay.
Deadpool won't have it. So Loki uses his magic power or whatever.
Uh-huh.
He curses Deadpool to look like Tom Cruise as punishment. So he's like a really good looking
Yep.
guy as punishment or something like that.
Interesting.
Yes.
How did we get this far into movies?
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
It is interesting.
It was a tangent worth taking, given off the Halo hate.
You know. Decent to mix it up, I suppose. Just shows you how unstructured and pointless this show is.
Content.
Right.
Content.
Yes, we have hit the hour and 23-minute mark, so
Oh, it's not even that bad.
we can start monetizing.
Let's go!
Yeah.
We don't have enough viewers to be
Nope.
monetized.
I know.
What was I thinking?
You guys seen the Wassa Mall? To go on a way different tangent.
Okay. I'm interested. I'm intrigued.
Been in the news.
Go on.
Well, it's just it keeps getting torn down. I
About
got
time.
Okay.
that video clip of the excavators pulled the whole thing down, the whole front of the Sears. It's kind of exciting.
Well, let me tell you, there's been nothing in that mall for 10 years, so
Mm,
I would say it's overdue.
there you go.
Speaking of the Wausau Mall, makes me want to go to Chopsticks.
It is a good place.
Maybe I'll stop there tomorrow on the way home.
Maybe I'll stop there tonight.
Tonight. I have food waiting at home, so.
Ah.
I think the only thing I really liked about the Wausau Mall, even though it hasn't been there for probably 6 years, was the GameStop.
Yeah.
Oh.
Still in Red Mountain.
Correct.
The guy who owns the store in Red Mountain franchised, so he has some deal. So even if GameStop had gone under, it's not going to now for at least another couple of years. Curtis, have you paid attention to the great stonks? The stonk market.
Yeah, that was great.
So some
In Reddit?
yes,
Yeah,
Reddit
Yeah,
Reddit somehow meme magicked GameStop stocks into being valuable. So the company's
Very
not
valuable.
Yes, very valuable. So the company was not doing well, but suddenly its stocks are worth a bunch of money, so they're not going to die, which I think is just really, really funny and kind of cool.
Yeah, there are some guys at work who have been following the Reddit stocks and all the
Yeah.
suggestions, and they talk about it every day, and I don't know.
Yeah, okay, I understand how hearing it every day you'd be like, I'm over it, but for me, it's just been kind of fun to poke my head in every once in a while and see how it's doing. It's just like, GameStop's still alive. Never thought I'd see this because they were doing so bad.
It actually became pretty comical too, because I'm pretty sure the company behind Acorn for just doing really small investments got in a heap of trouble for not allowing their users to invest in GameStop, and then that's
Yeah.
where there was a lot of
There was an attempt to essentially bottleneck investments into GameStop.
yep.
Didn't work out. Still going strong.
Long live.
Long live GameStop. They went hard into merchandising. That's how you knew they weren't doing well.
Correct. I guess I can probably blame them for my crappy Joy-Cons as well. I got mine refurbished in Oshkosh for a good deal, and those Joy-Cons were quite sticky.
Oof. I got mine brand new from a GameStop. My Joy-Cons aren't that great, so they're just poor design, I would say, to a degree. But that brings us back to video games. This has been one giant circle. You could probably fit an elephant through that circle.
Hmm.
A flying elephant named Abu.
Dumbo, come on.
Dumbo. Oh, I was going for Aladdin reference, but
Okay.
Yeah. It took me a second.
because Abu was a monkey, he got
Yes, got
transformed
turned
by the
into
genie into
yes,
a
yes,
monkey,
yes.
or into an elephant. See, it's funnier when you explain it. I learned that.
I think it's funnier too because it makes it laugh. Like it makes you laugh at yourself if other people aren't laughing.
Right,
'Cause it's like if you
right.
don't have self-humor, you'd probably be in a very dark place.
Hmm.
No, I feel like that's a little too deep. But I feel like
Maybe.
if you don't laugh at yourself when
On
other people
occasion.
aren't laughing, then you feel like you're not a funny good person. I've made a
Sure.
lot of jokes in my day that my
Did not
family like,
land.
and I just start laughing, and I'm like, yeah, just let me be. I'll just go in my room and
Yeah.
cry.
We'll be fine. What's the worst that'll happen?
Exactly.
Yeah. Ugh. Ugh. Halo Infinite. We're back. Back to the topic at hand. I don't know what I was thinking. It's gone.
So it sounds like you guys are excited, but a little tentative about all the
I'm
features they've
very
offered.
tentative. However,
Hmm.
I'm going to play the crap out of that campaign.
Hmm.
It's going to be great. I have faith that the campaign will be fun. It's got Joe Staten working on it again.
Exactly.
Just seeing him on stage at E3 with Halo, I was just like, oh, I feel something.
You feel like he's actually like separate from 343. It's
I
like you're your
know.
own entity. Like you are literally a god amongst
Yeah,
a pretty mediocre gaming company.
you're not wrong. Curtis, for you, and for those of our audience who are blissfully unaware, Joseph Staten was one of the original creators of Halo. He worked at Bungie and helped create the games Halo 1, 2, 3, ODST, and Reach. He stayed with Bungie when they split from Microsoft. They joined Activision, published Destiny. He left shortly after Destiny 1 launched. It was shortly after or shortly before. I think it was after because Marty left before. And then he went back and worked for Microsoft again, but he was sort of like a creative oversight guy for the various Microsoft companies. And now they've attached him to Halo Infinite, and I'm like, feels good.
Ah.
It's the return of the king,
Ah.
a movie
I
we're going to
assume
talk
there
about
are-
next week.
Ah, yes. I assume there are memes out kind of like that.
Yes, there was. Like the day he got announced, it was people pulling up the title screen or the title splash for Return of the King. It's like,
Hmm.
He technically could be the banished.
I suppose. Though he's coming back in triumph rather than being our enemy.
True.
True. And Joseph Staten is, of course, he has a famous line about ODST. What if the phones rang? The phones on the street that you run around, they'll ring at you.
Oh, right.
So it was like this funny deadpan delivery of what if the phones rang? And then it cuts to gameplay of the phone ringing and like change spitting out of the phone booth. Good times. What if the phones rang, Curtis?
I don't know.
Then you could hear the
What?
phone call.
Uh,
I don't know if that's a punchline. More of a punchline that you get in Nemesis, but that's topical.
I guess I would have said I'd just let it go to voicemail.
That works too.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm interested to see more. It's interesting. We haven't seen much of the sandbox, like the actual weapons.
Yeah.
And they said they were cutting back on the sandbox because Halo 5 was redundant sandbox the game. God, there was no variety in those guns, but it was just like, you know, it's weird seeing so few guns after that.
I agree. Yeah, even I guess if it doesn't really cross over to multiplayer, but even the banished weaponry.
Yeah. Well, those will be in multiplayer, but
Yeah.
we didn't see them much, if at all. The Ravager and the not Mauler.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put it. The not mauler. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mangler, that's it.
Ah.
It came to me. In sleep it came to me, Curtis. In dreams it came.
Ah.
Ha! See, I'm engaging him by using references to other things that he knows.
Oh, that is going to be interesting. Oh, we got, 4 seconds of BR gameplay in there?
Yeah, we got a little bit of BR. It doesn't look like it has much recoil, which I'm okay with.
Yep.
That's cool. It looks like the battle rifle.
Agreed. And the reticle itself reminded me a little bit of H2.
Yeah.
I was all for that.
H2A kinda. Yeah, I'm good with it. It's cool. Something that I did notice, if we want to get into the dumb minutia, we're moving into the section of the dumb minutia that Noah noticed. So things that no one else noticed and or cared about, but I saw. In one of the segments with the battle rifle, he's coming out a sprint, and the gun just snaps up real quick, so you're going to be able to shoot immediately coming out of sprint. As opposed to Halo 5, which, depending on the gun's quote-unquote weight, would take a certain amount of time to come out of the animation for you to be able to shoot. Gameplay implications. There was a section, I forget, we don't know neither of us remember the pre-release map names, but the one with like the market it is in Africa, it's in Voi. But you know, like the human city, it was all tan.
Yes.
Yes, down in Africa. He's got the hammer and he's smashing, and there's like a stall with like fruit in it, and it breaks and it blows apart. So I'm like, oh, that's neat. You can destroy the fruit stalls. Once again, like no one else is gonna notice this stuff until they're actually like playing the game 24/7. But it's like 3 seconds of gameplay. I was like, oh, look at that. That was neat.
I think that adds a lot, though. I feel like that's where Battlefield gets a lot of draw. Not only just like realism, but
destructive environments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They showed a lot of grav hammer.
Yeah, they did. The grav ham looks unresponsive. Like, it looks like there's a long draw up time before he brings the hammer down, and I'm like, I don't know how that's gonna feel playing it. I guess we have to play it to understand that, but didn't look.
There were a couple times I agree to you that he was around the corner and an enemy comes by and he's already swinging before he actually is face to face with the other Spartan. That it kind of reminded me a little bit of H5 of you're gonna have a longer just overswing.
Yeah.
And again, I guess it's more feel than look and judge, but.
And I also wonder how much of that. It looks like the grav ham has like some area of effect damage,
Definitely.
more so than before. So I wonder how much of that is to try and counteract sprinting up to get near people and then swinging and killing people really quickly. So that might be the balance there. Just off the top of my head. See, the dumb things no one notices.
I do wish they would have showed more weaponry in the
Yeah.
multiplayer reveal for sure.
Well, you see, they did show off a new gun. I forget what it's. I don't know if we know the name of it, but it was like sort of a scattershot redesign. It kind of looked like. Yeah, that Forerunner like purple.
Yeah, it almost was like a tri-shot plasma rifle.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Well, just the way the shot bounced and tracked a target.
Yes.
Was very scattershot reminiscent. So it was just something where it was just like I kind of wanted to see more of that and see what it did. Ah.
All comes down to hit reg, baby.
Oh boy. As long as it's not Halo 3 hit reg. Yikers. Right, Curtis?
Hit registration, is that what
Yes.
that's short for?
Yes.
And
The
what
Doom.
was
Halo 3's hit registration is notoriously bad.
Ah, I see.
Their net coding was absolute garbage.
Okay.
You just watch your shots hit people and do no damage. It was great. It's a fun time. It still happens to me. You've seen the clips.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Makes me question why I even touched the game. It's like, well, my shots aren't going to count. Why do I try?
That was another thing I noticed that somebody mentioned, like the Titanfall outline of your Spartan.
Oh, yeah. That's to push their armor coatings customization stuff. So it's like, otherwise, what would be the point of having all these options if you're just going to be red or blue 90% of the time? I do hope they bring traditional red versus blue back for the competitive scene specifically.
Agreed.
Other than that, I'll live with it. I prefer classic RVB, but
Same.
I'll get over it, I guess. Did you notice the snake emblem on the flag?
Yes.
That's from Halo 1 and 2. That was the red team symbol. And the blue team was like an eagle, I think, and I think that's also in there. Other people noticed that, so that's not just the dumb stuff that Noah only noticed. That's the dumb stuff that the internet noticed. Different segment.
Did you also see a tracer on the top of the flag when it's running? Did you see that?
Oh, that's just the skull.
Or is that skull? Okay.
Yeah, traditionally there's been a skull mounted on top of the flag, and the one that we see seems to have like glowing eyes, so it's leaving like a trail behind. Whatever. You can sprint with the flag, but they got rid of the flagnum. I'll take it. I hated flagnum. It was so dumb. Curtis is like, yes.
Hate is a strong word.
Yeah, you get to use his terminology again.
Fine.
Yes, there we go.
It was fine.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like it will definitely not take us long at all just to get accustomed to everything. That's sort of just
Yeah.
I don't 100% strong too, but to come down to the multiplayer maps, that's like probably one of my biggest fears
Yes.
going into
Seeing actual map layouts.
Yes.
Yeah. They have to accommodate so much, but at the same time they don't, because you can take equipment off and it's like, okay, we don't have to think about the grapple hook on this map because we're not going to put it on this map. Okay, cool. That's one of the benefits of doing equipment rather than base player traits.
Another thing that I actually thought about on my ride over here,
Boy.
the Academy,
Oh.
Aderholt's Academy.
Aderholt's Academy.
How many times this
bots.
guy took me into a custom game in Halo 5 to learn some trick jumps and all that.
Ridiculous BS.
I'm a fan for it. The Academy, the only reason I'd use
I'm
it for
fine.
would be for map, I guess, just accountability and just comfortability of getting used to. Like, I think the bots is cool, but
Yeah, I'm going to use the bots to try and warm up my shot.
Definitely.
I don't see me using it for
to
much
like
else.
get better. Yeah.
It's like that I'm going to actually want to play against people to do. And there's something that a lot of people I think are overlooking. the little segment where he's talking about, oh, this will help you get used to the universe and terminology in the universe.
Yep.
I think they're gonna put their in-game codex into this thing, so you'll be able to like, oh, what's the Master Chief done in this game, and who's Sergeant Johnson, and who's the Arbiter. And it's like, I think that's what they're also gonna integrate into that, and I think that's an interesting concept. I have no problems with it. It's just like, okay, I guess that's fine. The problem for me is that if there's achievements tied to like listening to your 10th,
No.
and I'm like, I already know all this stuff. Why do I need? That's the only thing that I'm concerned about. Other than that, I'm like, whatever. It'll be fun.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
We covered a lot there.
Fun Halo music. Well, so, yes, General So. Right, Curtis?
Right.
Right.
General So.
General So.
Well, I suppose we will, I don't know.
Adjourn?
Do you think there'll be any more big announcements for the game before it comes out, or is this about it?
Yes, there will be. They said they want to do flighting, which is their beta program, and they're going to kick that off at the end of the summer. They didn't give a specific date. So it's going to be in August sometime, I would guess. And at that point, we're just going to be seeing the game, so we're going to know a lot more.
Yep.
So I'm waiting for that at this point.
Yeah, that's
solid.
Dang near on them.
Yeah.
For the reaction to beta, just like every other FPS of what goes on, server reliability, feedback.
Yeah. Excuse me. I don't expect much actual game feedback to be changed between when they run that and when the game comes out. Just not enough time. Like the Caretaker. Not enough time! Whoosh.
Right.
I think Curtis is connecting the dots, but they're getting there slowly.
Yeah, no,
Dial up.
I got it. It's just not something I watch very often. So.
Right. It's not something I watch very often either, but I remember it. My mother might know that reference offhand.
She probably would.
My apologies for hating on Black Panther. My apologies.
I don't apologize for hating on Captain Marvel, a movie that I've never seen.
Again, that make you a good Rotten Tomatoes critic.
Let's go.
I'd laugh so hard if I saw a movie, then I'm like, I don't know if I really liked that or disliked it. And I look at the Rotten Tomatoes and I see Noah. I didn't see it. It's garbage. It's trash. Don't go see it. Like there, it's all it takes.
There, it's all. That's all you need.
Exactly.
That's all you need. Well, in the meantime, I'm gonna be playing other Halo games, I guess. God. So much Halo.
Yet not enough time.
Not enough time.
They should actually call it Halo Finite. Better, way better.
It's about as close as we get here at NJC.
NJC.
I should have designed a custom letter
and
font
put it over there.
And put it over there.
That would have been clever. Too late now.
Yep, too late.
We could fix it in post, re-upload the entire thing.
Oh, no.
That sounds like a lot of time and effort and work that Curtis is not going to do.
Yes.
We barely got our stream starting soon up.
Yep. That was a big step.
That was a very big step. Just like Cassidy Yates moving to the station.
Right, big step, yeah.
A very big step. Yeah. See, that one you got right offhand. I kind of telegraphed it, though. But
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
See, Jason, this is what Curtis was feeling all this time. Now you know.
Just smile and wave,
smile and
boys.
wave,
Just like the
boys.
penguins from Madagascar.
Yes.
Smile and wave.
I use that on a daily basis now.
Oh, I thought of a good pirate name, but it's a ripoff of yours. It'd be Johnny Two Toes. He only has 2 toes. But yours.
Willie Two Legs. Ah, they
See, and Johnny
me
Two
that.
Toes. I mean, that's a perfect combination.
Sounds like we be having a hearty crew.
Oh, jeez.
With not a lot of limbs.
Curtis, when ye come up with ye pirate name, tell me. Ye.
Okay. That sounds great.
Doesn't it? See, now we all have to get the game.
Yep, that's all it takes.
Willie Two Legs needs to live on. He needs to
Yes.
come back. I'm gonna have to go buy that game now. Dang it.
Dang it.
Dang it.
I'm gonna have to clear. Well, I'm
Hard
gonna
drive
have to get a
space?
yeah,
Get an
or get a
external?
separate hard drive.
USB
I just
3.0.
bought a. Well, yeah, I just bought a 5 terabyte hard drive because
Okay.
one of my internal hard drives on my computer had some crazy error.
Oof.
The folders and project files are still there, but all of the actual media, all the video files, disappeared, all gone.
Oof.
That's a yakers.
Yeah. Luckily, most of it was backed up. Nothing essential was on there, so.
That is very good.
That's
Oh, yeah.
honestly like, even with my PC, I literally get down on my knees and pray for just adding new internal hard drives of, all right, I see that that's at 3/4 of a terabyte, and I don't even want to add another gigabyte to it. So I just take a little half of that, even partitioning, so you will, bring it on to the new internal hard drive, and I'm like, please do it. And then it says like estimated time remaining like an hour and 10 minutes. I'm like, I'm not even going to look at it. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. It'll work its magic, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I've been looking into, not to go off on a weird tangent, but they make these little slots you can put like solid state SSD drives in the spot of the traditional hard drive.
Oh, cool.
But it's like twice as expensive as a
Right.
regular hard drive.
Yep.
But I'd love to do it. Just replace all of the old spinners with
Yep.
solid state.
Solid state's the way to go.
Yeah, it's just expensive, and I don't know
Yes,
if
it is.
my 13-year-old Macintosh can handle such a thing. So,
Well,
yeah.
Curtis, you could buy a 10-year-old Macintosh.
Yeah, that's
See how
true.
that works.
Yeah, upgrade.
It's about time, I think.
No, I can get
No.
another 10 years out of this.
There you go.
Oh, God. A classic Aderholt solution.
Yep.
Run it into the ground.
Yep.
Do you even have a hard drive in your PC?
Yeah.
You do?
I've got a solid state.
Oh, I guess, sorry. I guess old-fashioned of
Yeah.
magnetic strip. You do?
Yeah, I've got some old spinners on there. Yeah, I've got like at least 4 terabytes of old.
Oh,
I
okay.
might have 2 4-terabyte drives in there, and then 1 or 2 terabytes of solid state. I think 1 to run my OS, and then Skyrim.
Yep. Oh, there you go.
It's a Skyrim machine. I don't use it for much else these days, especially now. I've got my new monitor. I'm running
Heck
120
yeah.
frames off a console. Fancy days, Curtis. Fancy days.
Yes, I know. Your eyes can discern each individual frame as it happens. It's very handy for you.
I mean, you can see the difference between 60 and 120. Above.
Okay.
Curtis, come over and we'll test it.
Okay.
Fight.
Fight. I challenge you to Super Smash Bros.
Starting to sound like the audio people.
The
Well, I can
audio-
hear the difference. I know
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah, that's
don't-
stuff I can't notice. It's just like, I mean, I guess it might sound different. Ah.
Yeah.
Well, this has been like 2 hours of us rambling on about random stuff.
Yep.
Yep. Some of it was entertaining for some of us, and some of it was less entertaining for others of us.
Indeed.
Thank you for joining us. If you somehow made it through all 2 hours, I commend your endurance. Your future spouse will enjoy it as well. That got a bit more adult than I was thinking, but it went there.
Thanks to our special guest.
Thank you.
What do you
thank
mean?
you.
He's a
thank
regular
you.
guest. It's NJC.
Yeah. Yes, our semi-regular guest.
Yes, I'll take that.
Yes,
Alright.
thank you very much. Adios.